The Triumph Tiger XCX and XRX 800 are the British firm's mid-range Tiger models. They've got 6 different variants of the Tiger model. Between the models there are just subtle changes. Both the X and the R appear really similar, where suspension and wheel size are the only noteworthy differences.
Let go, don't breathe it in, slow down, take hold. I chased you down the rabbit hole before it was heavenly. I miss you, your love.
So on the one hand we have the XRX, which is essentially a smaller bike. It's got a lower seat, it feels more manageable, it's got slightly narrower bars, and generally you get on it and you feel a little bit more in control. It's a bit more novice friendly. And on the other hand we have the XCX, which is quite clearly much more of an adventure bike. It sits taller, it's got spoked wheels, it's got a bigger screen. It's definitely got a bit more presence and attitude about it, and it's spec'd up to be a bit more of an adventure bike. The one thing that's true of these bikes, and it's true of every Triumph really, is the engine is a big part of its character, and it's very exciting to ride these bikes mainly because the sound, if they feel so good, they sound so good. You have to rev them. There's a little bit of a lull between 3,000 and 4,000 RPM. But once you build beyond that, they feel real exciting, and they live better at that part of the rev range. The electronics package on both bikes is okay. The switch gear is a little bit dated, big on the handlebars, a bit clunky to use in a way, and definitely the way you can switch between modes and traction controls and on-road and off-road settings isn't quite as intuitive and as easy to use as some of the other bikes that are available on the market at the moment. The traction control and the ABS systems, they work well enough off-road. It's nice to be able to lock the back wheel up in the off-road mode, spin the bike around a little bit, especially when you haven't got very good steering lock. You need to do that. But the power delivery, the way that the traction control cuts in, it's a little bit stepped, but it's progressive enough. It doesn't inhibit the way you ride. You can play with the bike still with the traction control turned on. It just does what it's supposed to do. By comparison, the XR is much more as you would expect, much more as you find on other bikes in this kind of bracket. A little bit less supportive when you brake and turn into corners, a bit softer, a little bit more likely to make the bike wallow over the bumps. A big plus point with the XCX, and a reason perhaps to opt for that if you're into the adventure bike market more, is its suspension. The WP suspension which comes as standard on that bike, it really works. It's pretty good it's good to find a bike that's a basic model like that, the way the suspension works. It springs and it damps in the way that you want it to, on and off-road, it works. The XRX is a capable trail bike. We've come out of this test definitely with the impression that it was a good bike for a novice rider to take off-road. It's not going to take in too many difficult situations because the ground clearance is going to inhibit it a bit. But it's capable, and I think you'd be surprised if you did take it off-road what it could do. Compared to its rivals, the XCX, it's one of those things really. Some bikes have got some negatives and some positives, and for sure the steering lock lets it down a little bit, but the flip side of that is the suspension. It works much better than it does on the 800 GS from BMW. I don't think the engine works as well as KTM's 1050 does. It's not as strong. That little flat spot in the middle of the revs is not helping you sometimes, off-road particularly. But as a package, it works as an adventure bike. It just works. It's slightly better in some areas than in others.